Welcome to lesson 9 of Microsoft Word tutorial. We are going to talk about the page layout tab in this tutorial. Let's go back to our working document. At the top you see a page layout tab. Let's go there. And there are a lot of options, and many of these things you would not require and you would not use. So I'm just going to cover only very important things which you normally would use on a day-to-day basis. First one is the margins. So you see a margin and there is a down arrow. Click on that, and then there are various options. Right now it's set as normal, which means there is a 1-inch margin at the top, bottom, left and right. You can also do a narrow margin, which means that it's all 0.5, half an inch across the board. I click on that, you see how the margins change at the top, bottom and on the side as well, right? You could do a moderate margin also, and there are many options. And finally you can also do customized margins, which means that you can enter what kind of top, bottom, left and right margins you want. So this is something that once you know which ones you want, you could yourself set it. I'm going to go back to the normal margins we already had, and you have to be very careful in terms of setting the margins, because sometimes it may go out of the print area. If you're leaving very small margins, sometimes your printers may not be very standard, so some of the text will be lost when the printer prints. The margins are not set properly, so to be very careful. As much as possible, use the normal margins unless you want it to be wider, at which point you should use something like a narrow margin, things like that. There is also the orientation, which is basically your portrait or landscape. Most of the things you will use a portrait. Sometimes if your table, you have big tables that cannot be accommodated within the portrait orientation, then you do a landscape. A landscape will be something like this. Once you click on it, it will print on the other side of the A4 paper. Instead of the lengthwise, it's going to print on the widthwise. And again, like I said, use this with caution on which one you want. And the size anyway you would not need. Pretty much most of you would be using a letter size. 8.5 by 11 is what you use. Sometimes you may want to use an A4, so it all depends on, and the default is a letter size. And watermarks most of you will not use unless you are typing a confidential or a draft document. For example, you click on confidential. Now you see in the middle of the document there is a watermark here on the back side. You can remove that. Sorry. I want to remove the watermark. I want to remove the watermark. Page color, again, you use it with discretion. As you see, now I'm just changing the page colors. So now the page color is blue, and then your text should also be aligned according to the page color. I'm going to go back to the white color that we already had. You can also do page borders. For example, I want to do a box border, so it will be something like this. Every page will have a border. I want to remove that. No border, none on the top. Do it. So that pretty much covers the page layout. So we're done with the page layout tab for now.